so much more accessible now, especially with the internet. And then obviously like with pro shows happening and you're seeing these athletes go. And then we have the situation kind of that with Andre Galvao and Gordon Ryan and that big feud that blew up. And then obviously we all know what transpired. And obviously as athletes and teachers as ourselves, like we've been around this stuff for a while, we find it entertaining or we understand what's going on. But when you see kind of like newer students that are either seeing it for the first time or people who are kind of like hesitant to kind of get involved in jiu-jitsu, how do you feel that's kind of like, you think it's good for the sport to add more eyes and ears to it, or you think it's negative concept? What's your kind of thought on it?
It was like very weird, right? When it happened, I was watching the whole event, because it was like a very exciting like matches to watch. And then I couldn't watch the last fight of what's his name after Gordon, Craig Jones.
Craig Jones.
Exactly. Yeah. I end up like sleeping. I didn't watch. And then I woke up next day like so early at 5 o'clock in the morning. But everything was about a slap, And I was like, man, I was like so sleepy. When I saw that thing right away, I was like,
You missed the main event. That's what happened.
Exactly.
That was the main event. Craig Jones is like, you can't even let me have a main event.
Main event. Yeah. I was like, what's going on? And then I saw the video through flograppling because they had it. They deleted after, right? At some point, they deleted. And I started to go through in my mind, like a lot of stuff. Like, for real, I was like, what's going on? How can Andre let that happen? Like at the beginning, like how can Andre let like this happen? Just get like 2 slaps in the face. We only see one, but he says he slapped twice. I don't know if
it's kind of dark. You can't see it. You just hear it.
Yeah, you can really see it, but just hear.
You can hear it.
Oh yeah, definitely. But all the time, I don't know what Andre was like actually thinking, and then my mind was just like, why that guy didn't do anything against him, And there was the whole week, everybody, what was going on, what was going on. Gordon just went off all the time, going at him, at all these students at Atos. I'm like, man, Gordon, he's an amazing grappler. Like no-gi, nobody's beating the guy, nobody's beating him. Like he calls Andre all the time. Even before that fight, when Andre like retired, I was like, okay, this is good. He's gonna do different of many other Brazilians that they're winning, and then they start losing, then they retire. So he's actually, retiring after a big match, after big winning, and then comes Gordon, harassing him for the last, I don't know how many years, trying to get this fight. Gordon's a pretty good trash talker, man. A lot of Brazilians don't like, not a lot of, many, I would say 99% of the Brazilians don't like the trash talk, So I can say that I'm not the biggest fan, but I have some respect for that guy. I see him winning, man. The guy is like a machine, He's just taking everyone. Andre is one of the least. He was trying his best to take Andre, and then that happened, So like Andre said, on the thing he was trying to maybe promote, I didn't watch everything too. I just watched the Portuguese part. I was teaching at the time. I couldn't stop to watch. And then I just lost my interest of it because he kind of said sorry, like for everybody. It was kind of like, really.
It was kind of weird because like after all, he's like, yeah, I'm sorry, this and that. Oh, but I'm going to offer 50% off of Atos online.
Everything went down.
Okay, guys, I got 50% off. 50% off. Like, basically turned into like a pitch for
everything went down. Everything went down after that because it was just like, I don't know what's going on. You say sorry, and then somehow you just make some marketing. You want to sell your stuff, and you got slapped twice in the face, And now you don't even want to do the fight. What's going to happen? What's going to happen now? Are they going to fight or not?
I have no idea. Honestly, like I view it kind of 2 ways. Like if you're looking at it from like an old school Gracie mentality standpoint, stuff like this happened all the time in like Rio and all the time, like in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, like
every challenge all day. People go there to challenge. Things happens.
Yeah, it's like you go, like there's footage of like Hickson on a beach slapping somebody and fighting him on the spot. He's like, "Oh, you're talking shit." And he smacked him, and he's like, "Let's go."
Because for some reason they drop in the same wave. They used to do that. If you drop the same wave like surfing, they was like, "Okay, let's go." Why you did that? Boom, fight right away. Let's go.
Yeah, no, like I find it interesting because it's like he said sorry to like his students, you know, the jiu-jitsu community and everything. He didn't say sorry to Gordon. He said, I forgive Gordon for everything, right? So all the trash talk or whatever, but he didn't say sorry, right? So like, and in that standpoint, I'm like, okay, fine. You're just like not acknowledging it and kind of moving on from it. But then it's like you're dropping the discount on my students. I'm like, okay, cool. I get it. Like,
he wants to hustle. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it may not be the best time to do that.
So you might as well
maybe he look at the numbers and saw maybe I don't know how many people was live and say, there you go, that's a good opportunity to make some sales, you know. At least
you had like a bunch of people online, so he's like, hey, exactly. I might as well throw this out here. Like I get it where he's like, hey, I'm gonna showcase my jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna show you why my jiu-jitsu is better. Like maybe that's the whole premise around the whole thing of what he believes his purpose is to some extent, I guess. But it still doesn't answer the question, I think, that a lot of people, and Gordon's been radio silent too. He hasn't really addressed anything. He hasn't said anything recently. So I'm curious to see what happens. But I just don't know if it's anything going to happen. I'll be honest with you. I think it's just still going to be this Atos versus DDS squad. But I just think Andre is either going to not be too engaged with it. I don't know. Well, but maybe it's the silent treatment that'll give all the hype that we need, right? So you never know. Maybe that's the whole thing, that like Flo's like, hey guys, we're gonna get this done, but neither one of you can talk about it. So that's always a possibility.
That's true. And I think that Andre right now he went to a place that he didn't want, you know. He went to a place that he didn't want in purpose. Maybe like he said, I was trying to promote or whatever, and then escalate too much until it got slapped. But I wish, like I said, I wish he could just finish his career on the top, you know. And if he's gonna fight now, he fight his ass off to win the match, because if he loses, man, it's just gonna be even worse, you know, because you're gonna get slapped twice.
I think even worse at this point, like if you're not if basically acting like, hey, I'm gonna fight, and then like going, you know what, maybe I'm not. that might be even worse right now. Like you could fight and lose. Like you step up. Everybody's lost matches here. Like everybody loses in jiu-jitsu. Like no matter what, nobody's undefeated. So it's not like MMA where like you can, you know, you fight,
the loss is gonna count too much, you know.
Yeah. Everybody loses in jiu-jitsu. Everybody has a bad day. You look at it, even at all the all-time greats in jiu-jitsu, they all have losses. Galvao has losses. Everybody has losses. Except for Aaron. He's undefeated.
Undisputed.
Kind of bringing it back.
Thanks everybody for watching. And remember, don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep training, and we'll see you on the mat.